Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense, sprawling forest in the United States, a group of children found themselves in a situation they could never have imagined. Ethan, Lily, and Max, aged 12, 11, and 9, had joined an outdoor survival camp for the summer. What started as an exciting adventure quickly turned into the fight of their lives. The camp was meant to teach them survival skills, how to build shelters, find food, and navigate the wilderness. The children were enthusiastic, spending their days learning how to tie knots, light fires without matches, and identify edible plants. They felt invincible, surrounded by instructors and other campers, their laughter echoing through the woods. But on the 6th day, everything changed. A powerful storm rolled in unexpectedly, bringing with it torrential rain, deafening thunder, and fierce winds. The camp's main site was destroyed in the chaos, tents blown away like paper. In the midst of the panic, Ethan, Lily, and Max were separated from the group. When the storm finally subsided, the three found themselves alone, deep in the forest. The camp was nowhere in sight. It was eerily quiet now, the only sounds being the rustle of leaves and distant bird calls. For a moment they stood frozen, their hearts pounding in unison. "We need to stay calm," Ethan said, his voice steady despite his fear. "We've trained for this. We can survive." The first night. Their first task was finding shelter before nightfall. The storm had knocked down several trees, leaving branches and leaves scattered everywhere. Remembering what they had learned, Ethan led the way in building a lean-to shelter under a large tree. It wasn't perfect, but it provided enough cover to keep them dry as the night grew colder. Huddled together, they listened to the unfamiliar sounds of the forest. Max, the youngest, whispered, "Do you think they'll find us?" "They will," Lily reassured him, though her own voice wavered. "But we have to hold on until they do. The hunger sets in." By morning, hunger gnawed at their stomachs. The energy bars in their backpacks were gone, and they needed food to keep going. Lily took the lead this time, recalling the lesson on edible plants. She showed them how to identify safe berries and leaves, and together they gathered enough to make a small meal. Max, who had always been curious, found a small stream nearby. He used his water bottle and a piece of cloth to filter the water, just as their instructor had taught them. They drank cautiously, grateful for every sip. "This isn't so bad," Max joked, trying to lighten the mood. "It's like we're on a real adventure." Ethan smiled, ruffling Max's hair. "An adventure we're going to survive, navigating the unknown." With their basic needs met, the next challenge was finding their way back to the camp. Ethan remembered the lessons on navigation and decided to use the sun and stars as their guide. They marked trees along the way, ensuring they wouldn't get lost. The forest was vast and full of challenges. At one point, they came across a shallow river. The current looked strong, but crossing it was their only option. Using a fallen log as a bridge, Ethan helped Lily and Max across. The moment Max slipped, Ethan grabbed his hand just in time, pulling him to safety. "Thanks, big bro," Max said, giving Ethan a shaky smile. "Always," Ethan replied, patting his shoulder. Facing their fears. As night fell again, the forest seemed more intimidating. Strange noises echoed in the distance, and shadows danced around them. Max clung to Lily's arm, and even Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. "We're going to be okay," Lily said, her voice firm. She pulled out her flashlight and handed it to Max. "You're in charge of keeping us safe from monsters." That small gesture gave Max the courage he needed. He held the flashlight like a sword, keeping his fear at bay. Hope on the horizon. On the 3rd day, exhaustion began to take its toll. The children were weaker now, their food supplies running low. Still, they pressed on. Ethan kept them motivated, reminding them of the stories of survival they'd read back at camp. "People have survived much worse," he said. "We can do this too." Late that afternoon, as they climbed a small hill, they spotted something in the distance, smoke. It was faint but unmistakable. Hope surged through them. "Campfires!" Lily exclaimed. It must be the camp. With renewed energy, they followed the trail. It wasn't easy. The terrain was rough and their legs ached, but the thought of being found pushed them forward. The rescue. As they drew closer, voices reached their ears. They called out, their voices hoarse but determined. Moments later, a rescue team emerged from the trees. The sight of the children brought immediate relief and joy to the searchers. "You're safe now," one of the rescuers said, wrapping blankets around them. Ethan, Lily, and Max were taken back to the camp, where they were greeted with cheers and hugs. Their bravery and resourcefulness amazed everyone. A lesson for life. News of their survival quickly spread, and their story became an inspiration for children everywhere. Ethan, Lily, and Max realized that survival wasn't just about skills. It was about courage, teamwork, and staying hopeful even in the darkest moments. Years later, they would often look back on those 3 days in the forest as the adventure that changed their lives forever.